What's up, everybody? Coming back at you with another Cruising and Conversations. I know it's a little late. You may not even see me clearly because it's nighttime, but I decided to shoot a quick video. And I guess it's because something's on my mind. Well, it's really not on my mind, but it's a lot of questions going around. So let's get right on into it. Cruising and Conversations. The conversation for tonight is, do you believe dealers will honor the MSRP price on the Z06? And my answer is, let's get into it. All right. So check this out. I'm going to be quite frankly and quite honest with people. And I know a lot of people aren't going to like this conversation. Some people are not going to like my answers. But I've been explaining the same answer since back in March of 2021. When people told me they were on a list for the Z06 at MSRP. I told them, and I will say it again, many of these dealerships that you believe you're on list at for MSRP are not going to honor it. I'm bringing this up because I don't know the dealership's name, but I just recently saw a post of another individual, and it is now November 18th. I just saw a post of another individual who sat there and said, hey, I've been working with this dealership. I have a friend that works at the dealership. They told me over and over again the car is going to be sold at MSRP. And on November 18th, in casual conversation, stopping by the dealership, yada, 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 they now told this person that they will be selling the Z06 at market value. So we are now almost 4 weeks removed from the Z06 reveal. Right now, I say 3. And after the big Sioka mishap or massacre or whatever you want to call it, and I told everybody that people are going to sit back and wait and see what happens with the number one dealership before other dealerships flip, toss, and turn. Because realistically, there's a lot of guesstimations out there about how many Z06s Sioka will see in a year. But the thing about it, like I tell everybody, they cannot sell all the Z06s. But the number 2 dealership cannot sell all the Z06s. The number 3 dealership cannot sell all the Z06s. The number 4 dealership, the top 4 can't sell all the Z06s. Once you start crossing the number 5 dealership, if I'm not mistaken, at least number 6, from my understanding, at least 4 of the top 10 dealers are selling at market value or some form of a markup. Let's just say that. So if your top 10 who will see the most C8s have 4 dealers that are selling above MSRP, what do you think is going to happen when it trickles down? I'm not telling you won't get a car for MSRP, because there are dealers out there that will sell cars at MSRP. But that may only happen for the 2023/2022-2023 model year. I don't think you're going to catch a lot of these dealers second time around like we saw before, where some dealers sold the 2020 with no markup, but they quickly turned around and sold the 2021 with some form of markup. If 4 of the top 10 dealers are selling at MSRP, if 4 of the top 10 dealers are selling over MSRP, what threat is it for the little guy to sell over MSRP? Because even if you run to a major dealer, they still selling over MSRP. They know right now there is no threat. And I want you to understand it. They know right now the #1 dealer in the country is not a threat to steal any more business. They have over 5,000 people in line for a Z06, and they would never see that many cars. And a lot of people are starting to realize that waiting on that list, they will never see a Z06. So now they're scrambling, where it's starting to turn around. I'm seeing it more and more. I'm having conversations. People are telling me, yeah, man, I don't think 10,000 is bad. 10,000 over is bad. Well, guess what? You missed the boat on that. The dealerships that were selling for 10,000 over MSRP, they list alone now. Because there were people like myself, but I didn't get on any, but there were people like myself sitting there saying 10,000 over MSRP is a deal for what this vehicle is supposed to be. So to jump in the game this late in the game and say now, after you tried to go to one of the top 2 dealers and they're both telling you, hey man, we ain't gonna have a car for anybody for 3 years, maybe 4. So they stopped taking orders. Now you like, what do I do? Now you want to trickle backwards and try to hit one of these dealers that you so-called spit on, disgraced, and so forth, because you was like, they're dishonest. I'll just say this to you. I don't feel like any dealership is dishonest when they tell you up front what they are doing. Now, I don't like what happened to the last person, but I'm telling you again, it won't be the last person. Until the actual allocations and the ordering process starts. So I'm telling you people, until April of 2022, you are still going to see more and more dealers switch from MSRP to some form of markup or market value. And the reason why I say this to you, and I know I'm going to get the famous quotes of, they wouldn't do that because they don't want the negative publicity, and I've been with this dealer before, and why would they do this and that and so forth. And I'm just going to be honest with you. It's really not about negative publicity. What it is the longer they wait to switch to over MSRP on you, the better chance they have of you buying it for over MSRP. Did I lose you? I'll say it again. The longer they hold out on letting you know that they're selling over MSRP, the greater the chances that you will buy the car over MSRP. I'll explain to you why. Just like now, where there are people who waited for the Sioka list, who hoped and prayed they would get on it for a car for MSRP. Well, what are they doing now? They're scrambling looking for dealerships to get the lowest possible option they can get to buy the car. Well, if I'm a dealership that said I'm selling the MSRP and you're on my list, but I know I want market value, I don't say to you today, hey, I'm selling for market value. What I say is, my dealership is saying MSRP for now. But there's probably talks behind closed doors, they're going to switch. And what'll happen is, if they switch in February and allocations come out in April, Are you walking away from the list that they say we're now selling for $10,000 or $15,000 above MSRP? Some people will say yes. And I will be perfectly honest with you. Those people that say yes may never ever see a Z06. Because it will be more than just one dealership. And if all the dealers flip the role and say we're going to sell for some form of markup, trust me, there is people out there that will buy it for 10, 15, 20 grand over MSRP. When you start crossing that 30 number, that becomes a different ball game. But 10 to 20, there are tons of people that will go out and pay $20,000 over MSRP for a Z06. Myself personally, I don't want to pay more than $138,000. So I will show you my dream build. I got a video coming out with that, and I will show you what I'm probably going to get for my everyday daily driver if I actually choose to pursue it. But I'll just be honest with you. I'm really not chasing the Z06 quite hard yet. I talked about that in another video. If you want to see it, I'll drop the description or drop a link for it. But my thought process is that I may want to see what this E-Ray is all about. Because if I can get the same body as the Z06, but a little bit more torque and more fun, spirited driving experience, I'm down with that. So I still got some stuff up my sleeves. People are chasing Z06s, and I think I'm gonna start chasing the E-Ray real soon. I may get my hands on both, I may not. Honestly, I don't think I'll be upset either way I go, but I can tell you this, that once the E-Ray comes out, a lot of people are going to jump ship from the Z06, especially if it's cheaper, and that's the estimation I'm guessing. I'm guessing that if the E-Ray is truly meant to fill the gap between the Z06 and the base C8, it's going to be a little bit cheaper, look a lot like the Z06, and a lot of people that say they truly want a Z06 are going to now start telling you how much better the E-Ray is compared to the Z06. And my prediction is the E-Ray is going to be around a 600 horsepower car, which is kind of crazy, but I don't think it's going to go higher than the Z06, so it's probably going to be somewhere around 600, maybe 620, somewhere in that realm, which is still an awesome car. But when it got electric motors and so forth, you get to take off, and it's going to be fun. That's my prediction. All I need is 600 horsepower. I told you that before. I'm not no crazy 700 horsepower chaser, but we gonna see. So just to finish this video out, I think it's messed up what happened to this person. And I said it before, and people told me I was crazy, had no idea what I was talking about, and that there's no way dealers are going to do this. And here we are, 3 weeks after the reveal, another dealership has come out and said they're charging market value. Now, the funny thing about this is, the person that posted it didn't name the dealer, and they also sat there and said in their comment that they only found out because they stopped in the dealership today and were having a conversation and were just talking to their friend and so forth and shooting the breeze and asking what guesstimation the prices are, and next thing you know, the sales manager tells them that they're not going to get the car for MSRP, and it sparked a whole nother conversation. The GSM, or the general manager of the store, came out and said politely, told them to go take care of themselves, and that if they thought they were getting a car if they thought they were getting a Z06 for MSRP, they were terribly mistaken, and there's nowhere that's going to happen and they can just give up their spot on the list, get their money back today. So I don't even know if they sprung it on all their customers yet. But that's what took place. It's a messed up situation. So if you know who the dealership is, please, by all means, drop in the comments. Let's talk about it. Like I said, today is November 18th, and we're finding out that some dealer just told one of the people that's been in line, and I've heard this before, told a customer that put their deposit down back in September of 2020 that they are not selling the Z06 for MSRP. Although, according to this person, they verified it several times throughout the year that the Z06 would be sold at MSRP. And this person is very headstrong, well, I'm not going to say headstrong, but is very determined not to pay a penny over MSRP for the car. Now, they didn't say how much over MSRP they were asking. They just said they wanted market value. I don't even know what market value is. Some people think market value is 50 grand. To me, I think market value is 15 to 20. Once you go with 20 grand, I think you're really playing in uncharted territory. But I could be highly mistaken. I really want to say 30 grand, but I don't want to pay 30 grand over. So I keep saying 20, because if it's 20, I know I can negotiate my way down to about 12 or 15. So maybe it's wishful thinking on my side, but realistically, 20 to 30,000 is probably going to be market value for this car over MSRP. They didn't have problems getting that on the base C8. So I really think on the Z06, they won't have any issues getting that either, especially since it's going to be a limited production car. And I know people are like, oh, it's a mass produced, yada, yada, yada. It's going to be a limited production car. They told you in the reveal it wouldn't have a ton of numbers. So we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll find out. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, ICNV Drives Edition. Please hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let's have some conversations. Drop something in the comments. We can talk about it. Hit me up on Facebook or Instagram if you want to talk, or you got something you want to get off your chest, or if you got something you want me to talk about or focus on, or just hear my opinion on. Either way, reach out to me. Drop me a line. Don't forget, hit the like and subscribe. Support the channel. I appreciate it. Check out the website, www.icnvde.com. Get some merchandise, some apparel. Just help support the channel. We appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching the video. More to come. Peace.